Today, I'm going to cover all the things you should and shouldn't do when it comes to healing Mythic Council of Blood, how to perfectly spread your CDs to optimize throughput, and mainly, heavily increasing your chances to kill the boss. And if you pay close attention and do what I do, I can guarantee you that you'll top the HPS meters on every single pool from now on. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so let's start. You want to give your priest innovate and basically just rotate it and get 4 innovates in the fight. And then you want to prepare for the first Dance Sphere, and I would recommend not using 3 and using only Convoke and Flourish. And if you are progressing and 5 healing, you can also just DPS Convoke the Attendant. This is going to help you push the boss like the first 50%. But to kind of sum up this fight, you basically want to focus on not over healing the normal phase too much. Obviously keep in mind the dances, because like in the first phase I can go like very rough on my mana, go to like 80%, and I'm going to get all of it back in the dancing phase. So don't stress too much, mana is your best friend, and the way this fight works is you want to always like prepare for each of the fevers and not spend too much mana outside of it. So yeah, roughly halfway into the dance, at like 4 stacks, you want to start preparing for the next dancing fever, assuming you pushed before the second one in the Frida phase. And you can see I'm already preparing, using some mana and then asking for Innovate right away. And I'm also going to use 3 of life right after this Innovate ends to kind of spike up. And I'm also going to have my Flourish ready. So you can see I'm like heavy preparing, heavy blanketing the raid, and then Flourish. And my HP is going to spike quite a lot, despite not as much damage happening. I would heavily recommend Vikoras, and especially a Vikora for Dancing Fever, like the debuff if you have to jump yourself, because I actually died to it this fight, as I wasn't paying any attention at all, as this can quite happen when you just stun out the boss. Again, same thing, make sure to use your potions. You can get 2 of them in this fight if you use your first one early enough. So right now, again, same thing, just keeping up Life Bloom, Ridge Hoof and Effervescence down, and on the tank. You can see I'm not doing the best job of it, but I see Dancing Fever again in 10 seconds. You want to Convoke and then Tranquility the third. So to recap it, you want to Convoke Flourish the first one, 3 Flourish the second one, and Convoke Tranquility the third one. So again, you can see being very light on mana and mostly saving all my mana for jumps. Like, you have to be very careful, especially if you get only like one and a half innovates per the 3 minutes, which is like you are giving your innovate to Disco Priest, and the second one is from the Boomkin. Again, you can see basically like Vow Growth of cooldown, as it's very efficient, but don't go too ham with Red Hoofs unless the people like really need it and it's not going to overheal even a single bit. Next Dancing Fever, you want to use only Flourish because that's all you have. So you have to prepare more than you normally would. So you can see I'm going to dump a lot of mana, and I'm also going to invade the priest to kind of spend some mana. But you can see I'm like not underestimating this because we have almost no cooldowns. And I'm going to Flourish this and then keep spamming on Rage Roof, as we have 10% going left on Stavros. Now again, you can cast Regrowths when you have everyone, because I see that the phase is going to end in 6%, so I can just like fill in the remaining time with Regrowths, and yeah, just the basic stuff, keep Effervescence down, and focus on just healing for the fevers. Again, another dance, same thing as the first one, just follow the pattern and heal up everyone, but save your mana. Again, exactly the same thing as with the first dance. I see that the next fever is in 6 seconds, so I'm already preparing for it, and you want to use 3 of life, Convoke on this one. So you can see I'm already preparing for it. I'm going to go again for Innovate in a bit, and then use 3 of life at the end of it. Just to basically, because 3 of life plus Innovate is very useless if the damage is not happening yet. So you can see now I'm going to use 3 of life, a little bit on the boss, and then Convoke right as we start jumping, and making sure I have like again Effervescence down and all that stuff. Sadly, we lost 1 healer there, immediately rest him, but it ended up fine. And some people getting hit by useless stuff. But like right now, if you can see, so far it's going really low for me, and the CD usage really works for Resto Druid if you time it well, as I'm like at 10k HPS compared to all my other healers who are at 7k HPS. We're still doing some meaningful damage. Again, now using some of the juice was kind of a mistake, so I'm going back to cat, like realizing it, as I know I won't need. Now again, fever in 15 seconds. For this one you have back, Flourish and Tranquility, which is pretty weak, so you don't want to underestimate this, and again, especially as you are like heavy on atmosphere stacks, especially on progress. So you don't want to underestimate this, and prepare and blanket the rate very heavily with rejuice and everything. You can see I'm going to Flourish, and this is a big mistake. I ran on the other side, so my Tranquility hit only half of the people, which cost me at least like 1k HPS easily. As you can see, I'm healing 4 people with this Tranquility, which is a huge waste. Again, same thing, doing decently okay at mana. That now is going to come the biggest mistake I've probably done, or for sure I've done, is on this next fever, I forgot to jump, and you're going to see me that just die instantly, and at the time I didn't even know what happened, so make sure to get a Vicor or something. Again, fever in 15 seconds, you have Convoke for this kind of, but that's about it. So this fever is very scary, so you need to blanket the rate a lot. This is probably the fever that's the scariest outside of, but yeah, outside of all, because you just don't have any cooldowns for it outside of Convoke, which is like nothing. So you can see my throughput on this particular one is pretty weak, especially with the late spiritual we have. But we saved a lot of damage because someone didn't jump, and that someone is going to die in 10 seconds. So I apologize for you guys seeing 4 POV for like 1 minute of the fight. I'm going to skip some of it, but I'm still going to talk about what I would do. So now they basically just kill the attendant and kill the boss. I'm going to completely skip the dance as there's nothing happening. So yeah, I died, I'm checking what's happening, but again, as the dance would be ending, you would want to start doing the same thing as you do on every dance. So you call for an invade and you start pre-hotting people. So rejuve on every single person. Then as people start jumping, you want to go into Tree of Life as the invade ends, and then immediately finish this. So about now our Tree of Life, and continue spamming the people, and now you would use your Flourish to heal through this spike. Now again, I'm going to skip the rest of it, as now it's going to just be the same thing, just put Flow down, Vow Growth down, and just heal the people. Is I tell the whole raid that I have all my cooldowns, so I want everyone to delay the jumps a lot, as I see that the fever is in 30 seconds and my rest is going to be up slightly faster. So I'm calling out for the people to actually not use to jump after I get rest.
Then hit the Stone Guard.
After image of Baroness Frida.
After image.
I need to kite him.
Wait, next.
Almost innovate.
Okay, nobody jump and CR me. Let me stabilize first. Nobody jump. Yeah, so you can see I go to get rest, I get rest, and I instantly pop all of my CDs, as I know to heal the set to struggle extra hard for the past ones, but I'm at 7.4k HPS, and in this single fever, using all my cooldowns, I'm going to get to like 9k almost. But normally, what you would have for this particular fever would be, again, Convoke and Tranquility, so you can see it's rotating pretty nicely between Tree of Life and Flourish, and Convoke, Flourish, and then Tranquility, Convoke. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the guide and want me to make a SLG guide or a SAR guide, let me know in the comments down below. Cheers.